Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're so glad you're here tonight. My name is Kim McCormick, and I'm the Director of Education here at the school at Cape Fear Center for Inquiry. I've been the director for 2 years now, and I have with me Lisa Cole.
I'm Lisa Cole. I am the K-3 instructional coordinator, which means I help parents and students and everybody in K-3. So if you're one of those people, I'm your person. And I was a teacher for 18 years before that. So you have educator-based administrators at this school. And so that's always important for us. I was an art teacher and many other things, but of course you became our director. And so just always like to highlight that. I think it's a special part of who we are.
We have some of our teachers here tonight who are going to take you back over to the school after we are done with our mini presentation, and we'll introduce you to them at the end. So first of all, I just want to say hi again and ask how many of you have actually put an application in already to the lottery? So most of you, that's great. If you haven't, and we hope you will, we hope that you do put one in because we are always excited to see new faces, and it seems like there's a lot of grade levels here, so that's great. We are a K-8 charter school. We're a public school, so sometimes people confuse that with being a private school. We're not. There's no tuition. We act as our own school. We are not part of New Hanover County Schools. A lot of people confuse that as well. We are our own public school. That's why we have a director of education, and Susan Graciano is the director of operations. So you have co-directors here at the school, and we have our own board of education. So all of the decisions that we make about our school come directly from us. We are a shared leadership school, and what that means is our teachers who founded the school 24 years ago, back in 2000, we make decisions together. We don't do it as an administration alone. We don't do it as teachers alone. We do it or with families. We do it all together. We really want input. We really want to do what's best for your kids and our kids. To make sure they're getting the best education possible. So let's start our presentation. Our mission is that we're committed to promoting students' abilities to think and create in personally meaningful ways through an integrated inquiry-based curriculum and in a nurturing and empowering environment. And what that means is you'll kind of see as we go through this presentation, but we're really trying to get all these young people to be good little humans that can be very,
Critical thinkers,
and
leaders.
Right, and people that really care about the world and care about their community in ways that are very meaningful. So so I think I've told you a little bit about our history. We started 24 years ago in 2000. And teachers started this school, and we still have some of those teachers working here today. We opened K-5 in August 2000, and by 2003, they knew that we were going to move up through the middle school. So we had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade added that year. So when we started out as a charter, we had a 5-year charter, and what happens is now we've had a 10-year charter. We're in the middle of a 10-year charter, which expires in 2025. And we've had 2 of those so far. So we're right now in the preparation of putting our new charter together. And they think we're so great that we actually are doing a virtual charter, a virtual renewal this year. They don't feel like they need to come to the school. So I'm going, phew, thank you. As much as I don't love virtual, I want people to come and see the school always. We do feel good because we know that they trust us and they think they have a great program here, and we do. Yeah. Can you do that part? Sure.
So obviously it's in our name. Inquiry is a major part of who we are. It's how we spend our days, how we think, it's how we problem solve. So what a lot of people say, like, what is actually inquiry learning? So I always want to make sure that's clear. So theoretically, it promotes meaningful real world connections, activates student curiosity, it encourages that independent and cooperative learning, and helps students think about other perspectives and other views, as well as it helps them reflect on their own learning. And really what that actually means in a classroom is they are looking at what their grade level curriculum is. So because we're a public charter, all grade levels still follow the same standard course of study that North Carolina sets as the Department of Public Education. So So every fourth grader at CFCI learns what other public school fourth graders learn. Okay, so that's an important piece because those are some of the misconceptions with the charter school. So we do follow the North Carolina Standard Course of Study. If your child's in another school in another grade, they'll be on that same progression here of what topics. Within those topics is where the inquiry gets really interesting and really rich. So let's say in third grade, children learn about plants and soil in their science curriculum. They get to really get curious and tell their teacher, what about plants and soil am I personally curious about and interested in? And how can I take my personal interest and take that learning farther? So they're going to learn the basic information that they need to know to get curious. And then we let them kind of take that and teach them how to explore this curiosity. So let's say in particular, maybe they're really interested in worms and how they affect soil. And so maybe they're going to research that and they're going to build a worm farm and do some data collection and actually kind of prove what they've learned. So that's just one very small example. In first grade this year, for instance, they've been working on forces in motion. To learn about forces in motion, they built their own roller coasters inside the classroom using marbles and pipe insulation. Okay, I got that right. That's exactly what materials they're using. But they really had to use force motion language as they described their roller coaster. So all of us got to go in and hear about acceleration and friction and reverse rate. It's a really cool and interesting way to talk about that concept that's kind of abstract when you think about it as an adult. So to me, that's what inquiry-based learning is. So I just like to do.
So we are what's called a responsive classroom school, and it's really about how we do school. We want to make sure that children, when they're here, they learn how to be part of a community, they learn how to speak with one another, they become good communicators. We really think that it's about teaching children how to be safe, how to be challenged, and how to have a joyful environment that they're working in. We believe with the responsive classroom, and you can go on and Google the responsive classroom or go onto our website and find out more about responsive classroom. But we really believe that the whole child is what's most important. It's not just one aspect of the child, but everything working together. And we think about, teachers think about, we all think about physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development as part of each of the children's growth. So when you think about it, we do things like in the morning, we do morning meeting. And that's how we build community in the classroom and also in the school as a whole. We also, and part of morning meeting is, interacting with one another, saying good morning, being eye contact and saying hello, doing a share where you're talking about yourself and you're letting others get to know you that way. And then doing an activity that's kind of a community building activity that happens every day in our school. And we also, in that mindset, we also do a lot of problem solving that way. So when children are having trouble with a problem in the classroom, having an interaction that's not working that great, we take a lot of time. There's a lot of time, especially at the beginning of the year, learning our expectations, creating rules for our classroom, but also taking that time to problem solve because we want kids to communicate with one another. We want them to solve their own problems, and we want it to be a safe, happy, good place for them to learn.
So, of course, we support all our students. So, as a public charter school, we offer the full continuum of services and support for our students at a full gamut of needs. We use what the state calls a multi-tiered system of support. The acronym is MTSS. You may have heard that acronym before. You may not have. Most public North Carolina schools implement a system like this that allow us to understand what level of support a child might need. It could be that they just need core support, right? They just need to learn what their fourth graders need to learn. If they might need a little extra help in math or a little extra help in self-regulation, that might be a supplemental level of support to that little extra that more than maybe their peers are receiving. And some students might receive an intensive level of support. And that can be in attendance, math, reading, writing, academic subjects, as well as behavior and social emotional. So that can be self-management, responsible decision-making, peer interaction. So we can support kids in all those different ways. We also, of course, offer the full continuum of support in special education for our multilingual learners, gifted learners, as well as provide 504 supports for students who might need accommodations in the classroom for any kind of sort of disability that might need to be accommodated, physical or mental. So this is my bandwagon. So we have really what we call kind of two bands in the school: our kindergarten through fifth grade, or elementary school, and we have our middle school. We consider us all one school though, but clearly how we teach and how kids learn in elementary school looks a little different than in middle school. So in the elementary school, all our kids K-5 loop. And what that means is simply in kindergarten, when they come in, they have a kindergarten teacher. They stay with that same kindergarten teacher as they grade advance into first grade. So they keep that kindergarten teacher for 2 years, kindergarten and first grade with the same teacher. They then get a new class, so they mix them all the kids back up again in second grade. We add some kids to the classroom, and they get a new teacher, of course, but then they stay with that group of children for 2 years. And then they do that again in fourth and fifth grade. We find a lot of benefit between that relationship building. We don't lose time every year. We're establishing relationships with families for kids. We kind of know what their needs are. We're able to hit the ground running that second year. And it really builds that strong community. So that's really that kind of reason behind looping. In middle school, obviously that changes as subject and content area classes change. We use standards-based grading, like Kim was talking about. We use all of these standards studies. So standards-based grading means simply if the North Carolina standards are, reading folktales and fables or in second grade, they will be graded exactly on that standard on the report card, and that's the type of report card they get. And our report card is not a 100% it's a number system. A 100. We use thematic units of study as our main kind of way of approaching. So that simply means in reading, we don't just read. We read about science and we read about math and we write about it. And we do those things all day in different ways. We have 5 main specials we offer our students on each day. Art, PE, global STEM, PE and health, art, music, global STEM, and technology. I will start all of those. And they're here tonight to talk a little bit about that. We do have a one-to-one technology plan here at our school, meaning all students have their own piece of technology when they're in the building. In kindergarten through fifth grade, they do not take those devices home. We've had different systems in middle school for that, but they do know they have their piece of technology when they're here for research, writing, all sorts of different needs. And we do a really good job balancing that. We include field experiences, our version of field trips. Are really experiences to get out in the real world and learn in those ways, as well as have guest speakers come in. And what we're kind of infamous for is our museums and the state that, like for instance, that roller coaster project I was talking about, the community gets invited in to come in and see some of those things. We within the school all like to visit. Again, that builds those presentation skills, the speaking skills, but it also shows us all the awesome work we're doing. Those are those museums that you'll see a lot of.
In 6th and 8th grade, 6th through 8th grade, we offer math. We offer math 1, and virtually we also offer math 2 if a child would get to that point in math. ELA, of course, core subjects, science and social studies. We have academies, which kids get very excited about. We had one just before our winter break, and those are usually 2 days of intense study and something that teachers are offering that kids get very excited about. Usually, a lot of times, it's a science type of thing, but it could be, Harry Potter. It could be Dungeons and Dragons. There's lots of things that the kids love to do. Rocket building. Yep. So they really get excited about our academies. And also, they do a fall retreat. We go to Betsy Penn Johnson. What? Betsy Jeff Penn Johnson, don't ask her, I got that word. Yeah, it's all the PJ in there. But we go there and the kids from 6th grade all go together. They have it's a ropes retreat and it's a team building place. They go for 3 days, 2 nights, and they love it. And they come back, and it's usually one of the things when they write about things in 7th and 8th grade when they're thinking about leaving the school, and it's one of their favorite things. It just evokes such such great memories for them and such great opportunities. We also have specials. So two of our specialists are here tonight. Joanne Kress in the back and Michelle Chavetta, who's our art teacher, technology for Joanne. Do you want to talk a little bit about, well, their middle school specials? So they may have PE and then you rotate them every trimester. So every single day. For example, and not only do we yeah, the art program and the technology program, I mean, all of our programs, the kids love signing up for their specials in middle grades. They get what they get for K through 5. We try to have a well-rounded specials program, but in technology and art just happen to be one of those that they glom onto. They love it. So we're a caring community, as you can well imagine. And what we wanted to do, and I know this is a very busy slide, but we wanted you to know that there's just a lot of opportunities for you as a family and your children here at the school. We have curriculum nights, we have student-led conferences, we have what's called a turkey trot, that's before Thanksgiving, and kids, raised, well, I don't know how many they did this year, but it was like 670 boxes of cereal that they gathered that all of the community brought in and gave to Nourish NC. So we do a lot of things in our community, in this community, to support the bigger community. And the kids love it. We have book fairs. We have a really strong partnership. You might have heard of a PTA or PTO. This is our partnership. And we really feel we work really closely with them to give our teachers and our students and our families exactly what they need. And you'll see a little bit in just a little bit, there are lots of opportunities for you to volunteer that way. And we also have we partner with different organizations, we have an after school program. We partner with UNCW, whether it's interns coming in or borrowing equipment from UNCW, from CSTEM. We have a lot of opportunities. When we were talking about some of the middle school academies, they've done things like Work Good Cause for People, Loblolly Garden Club, that type of thing. So you'll find when you come, there's just a lot of good that comes from here out into the community and from the community back in. And we really are appreciative.
So CFCI is a school of choice, as I hope you all understand and why you're here. When you join our school, we're really asking that the whole family join our community and be a part. It's not just your child that is part of our community. By doing that, it means you're supporting our mission as a school, encouraging your child in their learning, of course, providing time and transportation. So we do not have a bus and transportation. That's one of the kind of things with a charter school and how they operate. So getting your child here to school on time and fed and well ready to go is that responsibility on your part that can really help us work together as a community. And then, of course, like Tim was mentioning, when you can and if you can, all the opportunities around volunteering in the art room or tech labs, volunteering volunteering on a field experience in the building, paperwork, filing, copying. There's a lot of opportunities in whatever capacity you have to offer. I know also that there are lots of parents who have really cool and interesting dogs that kids would love to hear about. And so we often ask you to come in and talk about that with our middle school and younger kids too. So all sorts of different ways that we ask for you to join our community in whatever capacity you have to give. There's an opportunity for that. And then our lottery. So this is like the nitty gritty for where you're at. So in the next month or so, of course, our lottery will run on February 14th. And that simply means that the application you've processed at this point, if you have, will run in that lottery system. It's a random drawing. It will be, I think, broadcasted live this year, just so you can kind of understand what kind of happens. But it is very kind of invisible in terms of a computer running a system and generating random output for those spots that are available. So if you haven't had your application in yet, please get that in by Tuesday, February 13th, because February 14th, the lottery will run. On the 13th, it will shut down, allow us to make sure and check that everybody's in, that all their priorities are correct and straight, that nobody that's already in our school is in the lottery, because that happens sometimes on accident. And so we do all that checking, and then we run the lottery the next day. So please make sure to hit that deadline. You should be in a system called SchoolMint, which those of you who have gone through that, and you'll start to generate some automatic replies once that lottery has run. You will get an email that day that says whether you got a spot or what spot you got on the wait list. Okay, so you've got one of those two things that you'll get, so you can anticipate communication period that day. Okay. If you get a spot, you'll have a certain time frame. It'll outline it all in your email for you when you need to accept the spot, and then begin getting paperwork in to show us your commitment that you're coming and you want the spot, and things like your health assessment and all the normal back to school paperwork that usually happens in public. Okay. There are a few priorities we want to let you know about just legally. It is posted on our website too, so that there's no confusion. When the lottery runs, there are really four main, but three that affect most people. Children of full-time staff and faculty have a priority. So simply what that means is when the random generalization runs, anybody who has a priority will run kind of first to the open spots, and then any open spots from there will go to the next for people who don't have priorities. So children of full-time faculty and staff is a priority. Priority is for siblings of currently enrolled students. You want your kids to go to one place every day. And then, of course, siblings of alumni that work here for 3 or more years. So if you had a child graduate and then you had a kindergartner, you could still have that priority, right? That's just one example. So if you know there are 40 spots in kindergarten, because we have 40, just remember that some of those may be priority spots. So just be thinking about that. But when you get your number of what your spot is on waitlist, that should be it, and you'll get emails as you go up. So that's what I was saying. So this is all. I always think that this is important for you to understand. So we have maximum class sizes at our school. That's part of who we are, is having small class size, and it's also why we have fixed enrollment, right? So that's where it gets cut off. So we have 20 students in each K1 class. So that means we have 40 kindergarten spots for this coming school year. We have 22 spots in 2nd and 3rd grade. Remember that we already have some kids enrolled, so we won't have 44 spots in 2nd grade, but we'll have whatever is left, whatever spots are available, as well as the 2 new spots added on
For each class. So 4 per the grade.
Right. Does that make sense so far? Okay. Raise your hand if not. And then 4th grade, 2 more kids are added to each class, so you're up to a 24 class size, and that will continue through 8th grade. Remember though, that doesn't mean there's no spots there, right? Kids leave and families have to go and they move and change jobs. So please don't get stressed about that. That's not what we can control. you'll get a spot if there's a spot, and you'll know where you are in the wait list. Okay? We don't have a lot of control over that either.
And people ask, a lot of times they'll say, what are our chances if they didn't get in? What are our chances? You know, the lottery moves pretty quickly. So once you start, if you didn't get in and you're on a wait list, yeah, I mean, we can't guarantee a spot, obviously, but what we would say is the lottery wait list moves pretty quickly. So you'll usually know by summer if there's a spot. Just so you know.
And, you know, even if you're number 40 on a wait list, remember, people's lives change. So if you are really committed to wanting to be here specifically, there's no harm in staying in the lottery, right? All the way up until the 20th day of school. Get a child enrolled on the 20th day for the last possible day this year. And got that last. So, and they had missed a couple days of school, but that was okay. That was what their parents chose. So just be thinking about all those things. I think that's a great question. So to be transparent, today I'm part of the team that does the lottery work. There are 182 applicants today, but that's for the whole lottery. So yeah, there's different every year. About 300 is our typical number of applicants
For K-8,
and that's K-8 with heavy on the younger grades, you know, because of just simply.
And it tends to be heavy on 6th grade because that's middle school, right? So it's kind of like a new start too. So those are the two.
So usually every grade that's not kindergarten and other than those new spots, so 2nd grade, you know, gets the 2 new spots. So those are automatically 4 spots already today that are going to be open, as well as 2 others unenrolled. And that's in 2nd and 4th, where those spots come up. But I'll tell you, probably we've had years where there's 0 spots. Like last year, we had 0 spots the whole time. But don't feel discouraged by that because that was the first time in my 9 years of conference. Nobody left. Great. That's also a good sign. You know, right. Because people wanted to stay here, we didn't lose anybody, there was no life. So it's very hard for me to give you concrete numbers. I really would love to be able to run a numbers girl myself. But I really just encourage you to just stay hopeful and positive and kind of go for it. And if you're feeling worried and you're unsure, let's say you're in spot 3 or 4 and school year is approaching, just call us. One of us will talk you through what we think you're looking for. Okay.
So it's just post-lottery.
Okay, so yeah, after the lottery, like I said, you'll get that sector spot order to sign. You'll have 5 days to do that. So if I always like to tell parents, if you're going out of the country, during the summer and you know you're getting close on the wait list, just remember your 5 days. So if it's important, make sure you check your email to know if you're getting out or set some alerts for yourself. So 5 days to accept or deny the spot, and then you'll have 45 days to start that paperwork that we talked about and get that in. That window gets closed shorter and shorter as we get closer to school. We can't give you 5 days to start it, right? So that window starts to be a 24-hour turnover, but we'll never be blindsiding you. We'll call you, we won't just email you when it's 24 hours. We'll also call, we'll try to find you, we'll get in touch with you so you have time to make the decision. Okay. The whole team of us that really want to support you families coming in. Actually, everybody does. Sorry.
Right, we all do.
Team of us that are actively doing that work. And then after the 20th day, we are done for the year. We cannot accept any more students at that point. Our enrollment is over. And that means if you didn't get a spot that year, that's okay. You'll apply again the next year. You will need to apply again because, of course, most likely your child will be in a new grade. So you apply again, you go back to that process. If your child one of your children got a spot, but the other child didn't, the next year they would have a sibling priority and would have that spot most likely that next year. Right? So those are the main questions that come about the lottery.
So if you have questions, we're going to put this up on the website too, and we'll actually have this posted presentation. Lynna Walker is our new front desk person, and she has general questions and will funnel to one of us if you have a question she can't answer. And this is her contact information. Dr. Graziano is our Director of Operations. I am the Director of Education. Lisa, she said, is the K3 coordinator. Ben Pierce is our 4-8 instructional coordinator, and Kelly Rooney is our exceptional children's coordinator. So if you're needing a grade level or anything with exceptional children, please feel free to contact us either through the phone or through email. We're happy to answer any questions that you have.